And welcome back to another edition of On the Board Sports. I am your host, Will Chiarucci, a.k.a. Will C, coming to you from Gotham Podcast Studios in Manhattan, New York. And I am joined by the one and only Mike Ortiz, controlling the ones and twos behind the glass here at Gotham. Always wonderful to have him aboard and doing our show. But today we have a very special guest with us. Joining us from Wooter Apparel, the owner of Wooter Apparel is the one and only Alex Aleksandrosky. Alex, how are you?
That was good enough. Good enough. Alex Aleksandrosky.
Androsky.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Almost there. It's all good. It's all good. Thanks for having me, Mike and Will. Looking forward to the show, and let's go to get started.
Absolutely. Lots to talk about. Obviously, Game 6 of the World Series happening yesterday, and a lot of controversies going on with Trey Turner and his little incident, but Nationals wound up winning the game, and obviously plenty of basketball to go around and plenty of football. But Alex, I want to start off with you first. How did you start Wooter Apparel, and how did you get it to be to where it is today?
Sure. We started because we were playing in leagues that we just thought were pretty much pickup games. There was no off-game experience. You have finished your game, you go home. There's no content to digest. There's no stats. Basically like a pickup game. We would play Monday, forget about the game until next Monday when our next game comes. And we thought this kind of experience was not like a league should be, and we decided to change that. We created software and apps to help run leagues, help run teams, help run these clubs. Every single player would get a player profile, their stats, their season averages. They would be able to upload videos and photos and highlights, engage with that. And then every single league would get their own website, they get their own app. So we made it very, very easy to run and manage a whole league or a team. And this software that we created was actually for us initially because we were running our own leagues, our own basketball leagues. Pretty cool. We lowered the rim to 8.5 feet. We called it Dream Leagues. People were dunking like crazy. Everyone had a player profile, their season averages. They were talking shit. They were talking trash. It was a sick experience. And, we ran that for the first year. And the software that we built for our league, we ended up marketing it to everybody all around the world. And even to this day, we have tens of thousands of users on our software. It's completely free. If anyone wants to go check it out, just go on wooter.co, www.wooter.co, and you can get your own league or your own team using the Wooter software completely for free. So that's how we started.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing this for, Alex?
This is year 5 for us. And the last 3 years really is what you know us for and what everyone else knows us for. That's when we started Wooter Apparel, and we haven't looked back since.
Right, and you did a great job with the uniforms at the Bowling for Peace flag football game. That was really awesome. That's how I got to meet you over there. I know you were open. Please don't kill me for that still to this day. I know you were open. I wound up throwing it, okay? But that's whether here nor there, Al. But yeah, that was a great event. And outside of the Bowling for Peace event, what other events do you usually cover?
I mean, we do everything. We're in over 40 countries where, not just here in Staten Island, even though it's where our office and we're headquartered in. We have a worldwide presence. The most exciting thing right now that we're doing, we started Wooter Africa. It's official. It's a nonprofit organization. And this is year 3 for us. We're running one of the biggest leagues there, 32 teams. It's in Tanzania, and everything's funded by Wooter Apparel, the uniforms, the referees, the officials, the courts, just everything. And it's exciting to see. Last year we had a championship game also in Tanzania. It was in Zanzibar City. The whole crowd, the whole city came out, the whole community. And we're giving these people a chance to just further themselves, the youth especially. They don't have the kind of opportunities that we have here, that me and you have. So we want to do something about it. So we created Wooter Africa as a way to just bring the communities together, strengthen the youth, and give them an opportunity to succeed through sports. So that's just one thing. We're working with a lot of them. We do a lot of celebrity games. We work with a lot of youth programs all around the country. But Wooter Africa, definitely something that hits close to home. I think that's a very big part of what we're doing.
That's awesome, man. What's your favorite part about being an entrepreneur and doing all this? Not having to deal with the boss? You're your own boss, right, in a sense?
Yeah, but that's not that's how I think about it. The way I think about it is that everything that I do is coming back and going towards my future. So, these endless hours, these endless nights that, we lose sleep on, me and my partners, because it's not just me, it's my founders, my co-founders, Alex and Dave. They also help me out. But then we're all working together, and it's for us. So even though I'm putting on, 10-hour days that are, in the first couple of years, working Saturdays and Sundays, it's all for, the end of the day for us and, not going to someone else. So that's a big part of it, of being an entrepreneur, I guess.
Absolutely, man. Hey, the sky's the limit for you guys, no matter what. Al, looking at it, I know you're a huge Knicks fan and rooting for teams like the Knicks in the New York area with the Nets and everything like that. What's your take so far on both New York teams starting off cold, really, especially with the Knicks starting off the way how they have? Everybody's expecting them to be the low seed, basically not make the playoffs, and then the Nets with the way how they've started off as well. It hasn't really looked good, but what's your take so far on what both New York teams are doing as far as the Knicks and the Nets are doing?
Listen, coming into this year for the Knicks and Nets, there's not much hope. I mean, for the Knicks, everyone's counting them out from the beginning. I think it's just fun to watch. And, R.J. Barrett, very, very excited for that. I think he kind of reminds me of a young Kobe, kind of his mindset and just his ferociousness. I don't know if people ever get that kind of, just that kind of vibe from him, but that's how I see him. So I'm very, very excited for that. I think he has a good, bright future ahead of him. So the Knicks are just really, really fun to watch. I think we're not expecting them to make the playoffs, but just seeing, these young players, this young talent, just get the chemistry, and we'll see how it goes. For the Nets, I mean, I think this year they should definitely make the playoffs with Kyrie, leading the team. They made it last year, but obviously not expecting them to go deep in the playoffs because, KD's hurt. I think next year is when it's going to be all or nothing, all or bust. They got to be going to the finals with KD on, leading the team along with Kyrie, and another year with chemistry between them. So definitely Nets have a huge opportunity there. Very, very exciting having, these talents, especially KD, joining Brooklyn. I actually used to be a season ticket holder for the Nets, and that was when we had the big three. Well, not as big three as they wanted to be, but still Paul Pierce,
right,
AG,
Kevin Garnett,
Deron, Joe. Yeah.
Right. I remember. Hey, listen, seems like a long time ago for those Nets, but, it's whether here nor there, it's part of a building block for their future somewhat. You're from Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're from Brooklyn. When the Nets moved over to Brooklyn, what was your take on the Nets coming over and playing in the 7-1-8?
I mean, it was great to have a team that you don't have to pay $35 just to go park and watch them, right?
Right.
So that was the beauty of the Barclays Center, and they're much easier to drive, when you're living in Brooklyn or Staten Island to see. So that's why I became a season ticket holder. It was exciting. Once again, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to, but it was, during those couple of years that they were there, and it was a lot of buzz in the city. When New York comes to play in Brooklyn, that's like some of the best games that you could be a part of. So it was great when they moved into Brooklyn, that's for sure.
Absolutely, man. And, do you see like an organic following now as far as the Nets go after years upon almost 7-8 years being here in Brooklyn? Do you see that following grow almost?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you visited the Nets versus Knicks games, but in the beginning, it was all Knicks fans. Like, there'll be more Knicks fans in the building than Nets games. Now, I think it's a little more even. I think there's still that everyone, New York in the days is a New York Knicks like city. It doesn't like it's Nets are new. Let's face it. Not even a decade in. So it's always going to be not always, but it's going to be a New York Knicks team for a very long time. New York City. So you expect it, but at least right now it's more even. In the beginning, when the first games were starting, it was all you could hear was Knicks fans, even at a Nets game.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, man, when they moved out from New Jersey and everybody was like, New Jersey's, they weren't doing well. They had the 9-73 team, and then they wound up moving over to Brooklyn, everything like that happened, and then the next thing you know, here we are, almost 10 years later, talking about this, and they have Kyrie Irving and they have Kevin Durant. I know you're also too. Are you a Giants fan too?
Yeah.
Okay,
Love the Giants.
you are a Giants. Hey, listen, you guys are doing better than the Jets by a win, but that's just me being a Jet fan. I can't wait for 2 weeks for
You're a
that
Jets
game.
fan?
Yeah, I am. I'm a season ticket holder with the Jets, and yeah, let me tell you, it's not looking pretty right now for the green and white. But that's whether here nor there.
Do you guys miss Mark Sanchez?
Listen,
Those are the good old days.
oh man, dude, I with Mark, listen, the guy had a future, but the Jets didn't put him in the position to succeed, whether it was trying to get him wide receivers or, trying to surround him with an offensive line. They went out there and they spent money, and, what happened? Butt fumble happened in 2012. He got hurt in a preseason game in 2013 that wound up leading Geno Smith in. But the first 2 years when he came into his own here, he looked like he was good. But that's 10 years ago now, just about. But I'm happy with Sam Darnold at this point in time, and honestly, I can't wait for Joe Douglas to do something right. I know there's a lot of turmoil around this team and around this franchise, and rightfully so, Alex. But I just want to see this team actually do well. It's been almost 10 years since they last made it into the postseason. But I want to get your take on the Giants, because you're a Giants fan. You've probably been to a couple of Giants games, I probably would imagine. What's your take on Daniel Jones being the new quarterback for the Giants here, and with the dynamic duo now in place of Saquon Barkley and having Daniel Jones? What's your take on that dynamic duo?
I mean, Barkley right now he's top 5 running back with potential to be top 3. Like it's there's no argument there. Daniel, he hasn't proven much right now. It's still kind of like let's wait and see how this turns out. I mean, I know a lot of people were doubting him when he was drafted. A lot of boos. I mean, same thing happened when Porzingis was drafted, and look at Porzingis now. So Daniel definitely, hasn't really proven himself. Besides maybe they had that one game where he kind of shined. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm still a lot of question marks there. I mean, Eli Manning, the same kind of thing. You never thought that this guy was going to be elite the way he was, right? I mean, his brother was a playmaker and one of the GOATs of all time, but Eli ended up being right up there with him, even though he's kind of, a little goofy, a little this, a little that, a lot of question marks, but he ended up winning two Super Bowls. So he's going to forever be one of the best. And, I mean, Daniel has a lot of big shoes to kind of fill, so to say, and we'll see. I don't know. Right now, I think it's too early to tell. With Saquon, it's not too early to tell. You can tell this guy's a beast. This guy is
right. What's your take on Pat Shurmur being the head coach for this team? Do you see him having a future here? Do you see him probably being shipped out after the year's over? Or what's your take on the head coach right now for the New York Football Giants?
I mean, right now it's kind of a mess, and he can definitely take some of the blame, but I don't know. We'll see. I honestly don't know. I don't know how this guy's gonna do.
I got you.
For now, it's not looking good.
Yeah, definitely not looking good with the way how the season has been shaping up, and rightfully so. It's for the Giants. It's probably going to be a high first round draft pick anyway for them. Another team that that's been really doing well is the New England Patriots. They've been steamrolling through everybody. Still one of the last.
What a surprise, right? What a surprise.
What a surprise. Yeah. Who would have thunk it? Them being one of the last undefeated teams left in the NFL this year, and they have the league's best defense, and this is all while Tom Brady is still regarded as, even though he's the GOAT, we'll give him that GOAT status, but he's not the same Tom Brady of old. What's your take on New England and what they're doing right now?
Fun fact. Right now, the Patriots defense is number 3 best fantasy player.
Okay.
Believe it or not, that's nuts.
It
but
is.
I mean, listen, when you're gonna have a defense like that, and you're gonna have a GOAT with all these weapons, it's just unfair. I mean, if they keep up with this pace, it's gonna be another Super Bowl championship. It's just simple as that. I mean, Tom Brady, even though you're saying he's aged, he's clearly aged, but the way he plays, like, he makes it look effortless. His offensive line's protecting him. He doesn't really have to, get out of the pocket much. He's just slinging that thing and making big plays. So, I mean, he doesn't need to be an athlete right now. All he has to do is just, be himself, and he's probably one of the smartest players in the league, and just he keeps up that kind of intensity and that mindset. It's another Super Bowl season.
Absolutely, and they just picked up Mohamed Sanu from the Falcons, and the Falcons right now are going south and south fast, only having one win, and Matt Ryan out for a couple of weeks, and he got they traded Sanu. They still have Julio Jones, but it's not looking pretty down in Atlanta. And there's something with having Rutgers players there. I mean, Greg Schiano, he coached Rutgers, was a part of New England for a little bit. They go out, they get Sanu. Sanu is a Rutgers product. Tom Brady likes these Rutgers guys in a sense, So it's crazy what Brady and company have done over the past almost 20 years as well when you look at it. But with that being said, Alex, to get back to basketball here for a second, do you see any teams in your eyes that might be like a surprise, like a sleeper team in your eyes that might shock some people going forward into this 2019-2020 NBA season?
When you say sleeper, it's tough. I mean, you have the top teams. I really like the Dallas Mavericks a lot too. I mean, I don't think they're not going to make a deep run, but just the chemistry between Porzingis and Lucas, just the 2 young players that are going to be, they could easily both be top 10 players in the league. Once within a few years when the chemistry goes up and they hit their prime age. You can't forget, I think Lucas was 19 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old is Porzingis, like 22 or something.
Still young.
These guys are babies.
Still young.
Babies, and they're playing right now out of their mind. And this is just first few games together. So I think that team is definitely going to be really fun to watch. And they have championship pedigree. Probably not this season because you got that LA Clippers and the Lakers. I don't know how one of those teams is not going to come out of the West Coast. I mean, those are definitely the clear favorites in the West. But besides that, you have the Nuggets. They were second seed last year. They have just only gotten better. The Rockets, I think they got better adding Westbrook instead of Chris Paul. I think those 2 players, they played with each other before. They're friends, so they have more chemistry. I think they're going to play really well off the ball together as well, even though that's not what people are saying. That's pretty. I don't think the Warriors are going to do much this time. They can't count them out if Clay comes back healthy. Mm-hmm. But if he doesn't, then they're just going to – they can make the playoffs, but besides that, it's not going to be pretty. And that's pretty much it in the West. In the East, it's open. Bucks are probably the clear favorite. 76ers right behind them. I don't know who'll be like a sleeper pick in the East. I think the Raptors can come back and be tough because, that's how they're playing right now. People are counting them out from the very beginning, but I think they're going to prove a lot of people wrong. But that's pretty much it. The East is not much. It's nowhere near like the West. Anyone can win the East if they get through the Bucks. I think that's the team to beat. The Celtics are not bad either, but I'll say out of all my teams on here, I think my sleeper is going to be the Mavericks. That's a super sleeper, but I think they can make a push, but we'll see.
I got you. Hey, who was your favorite NBA player growing up?
LeBron James.
LeBron
I think
James,
that's a lot of
no,
people's
no
favorite.
question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, LeBron for sure.
All right. Can you imagine LeBron James wearing some Wooter apparel? I know he's contracted to Nike. I know he's going to be doing his thing, but can you imagine that one day if LeBron was wearing your brand? Can you imagine that?
We actually sent him some stuff. We were doing a deal for a rapper, and he was sending out Wooter Apparel jerseys to everybody, and LeBron James is one of the people that got the jersey, so he might actually, have some Wooter Apparel in his possession.
I I wouldn't doubt it at all, not one bit, man. Would not doubt it at all, not one bit. So we talked about the NBA, we talked about the NFL. Have you as far as do you do all sports like hockey, football, baseball? Do you do all those sports, or you just stick to producing basketball jerseys and T-shirts and all that stuff?
Well, we do everything. When I say everything, I mean it. Obviously, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, those are the most popular sports. But we do everything: volleyball, cheerleading. We do cricket, lacrosse. Obviously, we do hockey, rugby, track, bowling, wrestling. You name it, we do it. That's the name of the game for us. It's one-stop shop. We do everything. Everything's fully custom, and not just uniforms for sports or jerseys. We also do custom apparel, compression apparel, polos, hoodies, warm-ups, socks, pants, caps, backpacks. I mean, listen, you name it, we make it fully custom. Everything.
That's awesome, man. I gotta probably get a couple of shirts from you with the On the Board Sports logo on it. Definitely gotta do that.
Easy.
Try to brand out.
Easy.
Awesome. All right, we'll definitely talk about that ASAP soon. Alex, how do the people follow you on social media, and how do the people follow Wooter? Because it's we live in a time in which we want everything now, and we want to go out and follow people. And hey, it might draw money, it might draw business. So how do the people follow you and Wooter?
You would just find Wooter Apparel, WOOTER Apparel. That's on all social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me on Instagram, One Pizza, ONE Pizza, One Pizza. That's my personal Instagram if you want to follow me.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Alex, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come on our show. And, you did a great job here today. You're always welcome back on the show. And, I really appreciate you coming on and talking sports with us, man, and talking about Wooter and your brand. So thank you for coming on, bro. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me, Will.
No problem, man. Thank you. So once again, man, it's been an awesome, awesome day having Alex from Wooter Apparel, one of the better guys you'll ever want to have on. And, the brand is growing. The brand is growing, and can't wait to collaborate with you, bud. On that note, for everybody here from On the Board Sports, for Mike Ortiz, our wonderful producer, and for Alex Androvsky for coming on, I'm your host, Will Chiarucci, logging out. We will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.